give us that Euphoria content. Probably a show J.K. Rowling did not watch, if I'm being quite honest.
Certainly not.
Um, but
God.
we got the second Euphoria special, part two,
Yep.
Jules. A trip through the mind of Jules, I guess. And
Hmm.
it's, kind of this like in treatment esque episode where it's very much Jules talking to a therapist, exploring the things she's been through, I'd say incredibly vulnerably. And I think a really interesting depiction of uh, her identity as a trans male to female transgender person, um, her relationship with sex and feeling loved, and her relationship with Rue. Really, I think well done, and it has the euphoria touches, the liability by Lord dropping at just the right time,
Sure. Oh yeah.
opening with it, seeing all these scenes play out in the iris of Jules's eye, and
Mhm.
then you also kind of get the scene where it almost feels a bit manic, like you're almost like jumping from thought to thought, like spinning around, all these cool transitions, kind of trippy in a sense. I thought the episode was great. I mean, very different from the Rue episode, so a lot to kind of juxtapose there. But overall, I found this to be a really intriguing episode. How did you like it?
Yeah, I also liked it, and like that it was different than the Ruse special. This time around, it's not a two-hander between Zendaya and Coleman Domingo. Like, yes, there's a second character, the Jules therapist, but she's really there to listen, like a therapist,
Mhm.
right? This is really all Jules, but I think that was smart because you get less of Jules in Euphoria proper because it's mainly focused on Zendaya's lead POV, even if we get a lot of Jules as well. And in the process, this actually kind of adds to like her journey in season one. You learn more stuff about her, like the stuff about her mom, I believe is completely new.
Mhm.
And, juxtaposing having a mom who struggled with addiction that she cut off and can't stand while also realizing that she's like the sole sobering force in Rue's life. It's kind of a unique parallel. Um, and I just like both these specials for how they are different than Euphoria season one, because Euphoria season one is very maximalist, very showy, very neon lights, not to mention a lot of aggressive, over the top narratives, right? So
Mhm.
this is much more stripped down, much more dialogue focused out of necessity because these were like, shot in quarantine to hold people over till they could get season two really going. And it's just kind of really cool again that they actually had like some real substance for the characters in these two specials because
Mhm.
I mean, testament to Sam Levinson. He really uh, knows what he's doing with this show, but it's really cool to see a whole other side to it with these two specials.
Yeah, I agree, and I think the thing Levinson gets at that's really fascinating to me is how he kind of strips back in these two episodes each of these characters to where their mental health issues probably stem from, in relation to Rue losing, being born and losing her dad. I think when she was just a baby, or maybe like her mom might even been pregnant. I forgot what the timeline was there, but pretty much like growing up without a dad who died in 9/11, if I remember that correctly. And then also, Jules and the relationship with her mom and how that really impacted her. Um, and then how they kind of look for similar parts of those things that they didn't have in each other, those like steadying forces. I mean, there's that scene or that part in the beginning when uh Jules is comparing Rue to how a mother might look at like a baby, it just like pretty much unconditional love is what she's describing. And um the therapist asks, is that how your mom looked at you? And you can see in Jules's face how quickly she kind of like snaps back and is like, well, you're just a baby, you don't remember those things, and kind of cuts off away from that emotion. But the way that they kind of tie these things together is really, I think, expertly done. And um, like you said, I think this kind of takes Euphoria, which can be this show that people see as just big and vibrant and bombastic at times, and really I think strip it down to what's at the center of these stories, which are these teenagers going through a lot of shit and trying to figure it all out. So um, definitely very impressed with these two episodes, and awesome to get some Euphoria content before we were really expecting it, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. What'd you think of the brand new song in the Jewel special, the Billie Eilish Rosalia collab that airs in
Yeah,
the middle? Came out a few days ago.
I thought it was pretty cool. Oh, did you have any thoughts on it? It wasn't something that really stood out too much to me, but I don't know. I thought it
Yeah,
was nice.
I would have liked a little more from it just because it's like a Billy first song and it's like Rosalia like fitting into that. It doesn't really
Yeah.
feel like those two who are very different as artists coming together, but still
hmm
cool to hear nonetheless.
Yeah, I think the show, even when it doesn't totally hit like that, I think it's still they blend everything together so seamlessly. It barely stands out to me,
Yes.
at least. Any last thoughts on this before we move on?
Have to imagine that Euphoria season two is still a ways away. I wouldn't
Yeah,
believe they've gotten back into production. Like we know Succession is back into production, and but like I feel like Euphoria is still kind of a ways away. They probably just haven't been able to find a way to make it the way they want to, and thus are just kind of kicking the can, unfortunately. But happy to wait.
for sure. A show we'll be tuning into whenever it's